Welcome back, students. So in this video we'll be doing the last two questions of question number 1. So we're asked to find the zeros of the following quadratic equation. So the fifth question is actually t square minus 15, which is again rather a very easy question. We really don't have to find much. Okay. So in order to find the zero, all we have to do is equate this given quadratic equation equal to 0. So t square is going to be equal to 15. Now if you want to remove the square from here, we take the square root to the other side. So we shall get this as plus minus 15. So we get two values of t. One which is root 15 and the other which is minus root 15. Okay, clear? So why are these called the zeros again? Because if you substitute t as 15 over here, this equation will become equal to 0. Same ways, even if you equate minus root 15, you take the square root of this, you will still get it as 15, right? Minus into minus will become plus. So that becomes 0. So they are called the zeros, okay? So we have t as root 15 and t is equal to minus root 15. Clear? Okay, and while making the sign, do not write it as minus 15, okay? This is completely wrong. This becomes again a complex number, okay? This is a complex number which you'll get to learn in higher mathematics. Now if you take alpha, we can replace alpha as root 15 and beta as minus root 15. Now to verify whether the zeros that we have found out is correct or not, we shall go here. Okay, so to find out the sum of zeros, okay, sum of zeros is actually alpha plus the beta, right? So what is alpha? What did we get? We got that as 15. And what is beta? We got that as minus 15. Okay, so root 15 minus or plus, just put a bracket here. So when you open up the bracket, you'll get something as root 15 minus root 15. So if you do this, it's going to be equal to 0. So now let's check if this is equal to the coefficient minus coefficient of, let's just verify, okay, coefficient of x divided by, in the case of this, let's not go with x. Since our given equation is expressed in terms of t, let's go with t, okay? It's the same thing, okay? You don't have to get confused. If you're just confused, stick with x, no problem. But since our equation is given in terms of t, I'd like to go with express this given formula in the case of that as well. So coefficient of t is actually, we don't have the coefficient of t. So like I said, if you do not have the coefficient of something, so that's straight away taken as 0. So 0 by 1, which is going to be equal to 0. So that means one of the sums that we have got, that is alpha and beta that we have gotten, is correct, okay? The next thing that we need to find, okay, is the product of zeros, okay? The product of zeros. It is supposed to be equal to alpha into beta, which is root 15 into minus root 15, okay? So minus root 15 into root 15 can be written as minus of 15 itself, okay? Root 15, okay? Or if you're very confused, you take a root over here, and root 15 and root 15 can still be written as root 15 square, so the square and square, this will cancel out, so you get 15. Now let us check if this is correct. So the formula for product of 0 is constant term by coefficient of x square, okay? Coefficient of x square. So the constant term that we have is given as, it's not just 15, it's minus 15, okay? Because actually this equation also can be written as ax squared plus bx plus c, right? I told you earlier. This can be written as 1 into t square plus, we do not have the coefficient of x, so we can write this as b becomes 0, okay? And plus minus 15. Now look at this. This is exactly in the form of at squared plus, sorry, this is bt plus c, okay? Clear? So c becomes minus 15, b becomes equal to 0, a becomes equal to 1. Clear? So ax squared, ay squared, at squared can be expressed in terms of anything, right? So the constant term that we have is actually 15. The coefficient of x squared is 1. That means the product of zeros, or the zeros that we found out for this equation, is correct. Now let us go with the next question. The next question here is the last question. Okay, let me just rub this off. Okay. So that is, we have this as 3x squared minus x minus 4. I'll just divide my screen this way. So now we have to take the, we have to use splitting the middle terms. Remember, we can use splitting the middle terms only when we have a quadratic equation. Clear? When we have a quadratic equation, only we can use splitting the middle terms. Now you take this. we have to split this term, right? So here there's a 1 here, okay? So you have to add two numbers in such a way, you have to add two numbers, okay, in such a way that you should get 1, clear? And then you have to take the product of these two such that when you multiply that, you must get, so what do we have to multiply? We have to multiply 3 with minus 4. Remember, okay, negative sign is here, all right? You have to multiply this 3 with minus 4. So this is going to be minus 12. We're getting as a result of multiplying the coefficient of x squared with the constant term, which is minus 4. So I think the number that I'm actually thinking of is 4. If I take 4 and subtract and add it with minus 3, I'll get it as equal to 1, right? Because 4 plus minus 3 is going to be equal to 4 plus into minus is going to be minus 3, which is equal to 1. Apart from that, 4 into minus 3 is also equal to minus 12. Okay, keep on practicing splitting the middle terms. Refer your class 9 textbooks. Go, okay, take your time to go and understand class 9 concepts. If you have not really understood splitting the middle terms, you'll get better at it. Okay, clear? So because we have practiced so much, the more you practice, the easier it becomes to find out these values. So we split the middle term with the terms of 4 minus 3 of x minus 4. Now remove the bracket. So minus 4 into x becomes minus 4x, minus into minus becomes plus 3x minus 4. So what is common between these two? Okay, x is common between these two, only x. So you'll be left with 3x minus 4. There's nothing common between the 3x minus 4, so you take this and you get 3x minus 4. Clear? So what is common between these two terms? 3x minus 4 is common. So if you take 3x minus 4 out here, what you're left with? You're left with x for the first term, and for the second term there's a plus sign. What is left here? It is going to be 1. Clear? Therefore the two terms are going to be, the two zeros are going to be this. Okay? So 3x is going to be equal to 4. X is going to be equal to 4 by 3, and x is going to be equal to minus 1. Clear? That means when you substitute the value of x as minus 1 over here, you will be getting this equation will become 0. In the same way, if you substitute your x with 4 by 3 in this given equation, this equation is bound to become 0. So this type, the values of x equal to 4 by 3 and x equal to minus 1 are called the zeros, okay, or called the solutions sometimes. So 4 by 3 and beta is minus 1. Okay? So we found this. Now we have to find the sum of zeros. Clear? So when you find out the sum of zeros, it is alpha plus beta. So this is going to be 4 by 3 plus minus 1. Yes? Okay, plus of minus 1. So you take 4 by 3 minus 1. So this will be 4 minus 3 by 3. So this becomes 1 by 3. So our sums of 0 is 1 by 3. Let us check if this is equal to the minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x squared. Okay, clear? So what is the coefficient of coefficient of x? The coefficient of x is minus 1. Okay, it's not just 1, it's minus 1. And the coefficient of x squared is 3. So minus into minus is 1 by 3. So that means our answer is correct. Okay, because this, when you this is a rough work. Okay, try to do this rough work. So if you get 1 by 3 alpha plus beta is equal to this formula, then the zeros that we have found is correct. Next we'll go with the product of zeros. Okay, the product of zeros. So the product of zeros is actually alpha into beta, which is 4 by 3 into minus 1. So this is going to be equal to minus 4 by 3. So this will be equal to the constant term minus, the constant term divided by the coefficient of x squared. So you just check this, okay? You go back to your equation. What is our constant term over here? Our constant term is 4, right? And our coefficient of x squared is 3. So let's just check, okay? What did we get? This is our equation, okay? 3x squared minus x minus 4. This is the equation. So from here, what is the constant term? The constant term is minus 4. The coefficient of x squared is 3. So this is the answer. That means the zeros that we have found out for our given polynomial, quadratic polynomial, is correct. So we'll end the video here. In the next video, we'll go with the next question.